and then Baba pointed at some point, and he said, "It is there that that life, not human life, but that life began at 0 degrees centigrade."
Ah.
Yeah, and then Abhidavananda was with us, and then he said, "Baba, is it possible that life came from other planets or other stars?" And then Baba said, "In my opinion, it is my opinion that life came from Mars."
From planet Mars. I have heard that. I have heard that.
You were there.
Yeah, I was there. And he said, now life is a dying planet, he said.
Yeah. Ah, yes.
These are more sentences. That was the... No,
Mars is now a dying planet.
Dying.
according to my opinion, life came from planet Mars.
Yeah.
And now is a dying planet. These were the words he used.
Yeah. But it's incredible, he's pointing to the spot.
This I don't remember, but he said.
Yeah.
But in the book, it said that
Dharma
she was...
Vedananda. You have lost another group there. We all go there.
What?
They are all there because we can all enjoy your speaking. So we go just yourself.
For everybody.
That's it. And what about this? Better to love them both.
Wisdom.
It was ocean before.
Then we'll talk about his wife. Just very brief because
10 minutes.
Because she of course she's still there. She's a beautiful person. She would have come, except she did some kaushiki and hurt her back. Otherwise she was coming here. And she was, in my experience, I'll speak of her in past tense like that, because in my experience she was the most colorful person in our whole tour. And there were many experiences that we had together. So Bodhishwar has a different perspective than me. No, good perspective. And these will color each other. So, something, I think there's one point in particular that I remember wrong. It doesn't make sense, so I'll check it with you now. Okay. So the first thing, my first experience of Anchala, first of all, I should say, she was such an attractive person, and she had this, what kind of a makeup? That was some kind of, or was that tattoo or what? Some stars and everything on her face all the time.
No, she had this piercing here.
A pierced ear, yeah. And so
made in India, yeah.
And so we were wherever we were in Switzerland. I don't remember where. I think we were in Timor, and Bodhishwar and I, we were in the room with Baba. There were very few of us there, maybe about 7 of us or something. We're talking something. And then we hear this extraordinary screaming sound just outside the door. And so Baba paused a moment, and he said, "What is that?" And then Bodhishwar said, "Baba, I think it's my wife."
You remember that.
And then Baba said, and here's the thing I'm not clear on, because what I wrote down, but I can't believe it. And then that Baba said to Bodhishwar, "You go out, you touch Anchala with your thumb, and while touching her with your thumb, your guru mantra." I thought he said you should say it out loud, but maybe he just said you just think it strongly. Huh? Which was it?
I don't remember.
You don't remember. Anyway, one of these two. So he went out. The screaming was going on, and Baba was speaking of just a little bit, something. And then suddenly, just suddenly, we heard the screaming stop. And of course, that was when you put your thumb on her. So then Baba told us, he said to us, I can't say 100% of what he said because there's something I'm not free to expose. But he said at that time, he said, "You see, in past life, Anchala did something that she's feeling tremendous regret about. And so she's desperate. She's very desperate to be near to me. She wants to get my touch to relieve that. Of course, she doesn't remember it, but it is there in the subconscious. So she has tremendous yearning to be with me, and perhaps it has not yet finished with this. Yeah, and then what was the next incident? It was the next incident. It was wherever, I don't remember, in the tour, and then again I'm there. Again, we're very few, and then and Anshala had been asking something many times to different dadas and workers and margis and so on, but it was being ignored. And we could feel it was important, but we were not saying anything because it was not our place to say. And so I think that maybe Baba had to, use his own way of bringing it out. So then he said to Bodhishwar, Bodhishwar, you look a little bit sad today. And what is the problem? And then you were not saying, no, everything is okay, Baba. I said, no, tell me, what is it? And after quite some time, finally, Bodhishwar said, it's my wife, Baba.
No, she wanted to dance. She was angry with Baba that he gave a dandavat to the men, and the women didn't have a dance.
Oh no, wait! This was
another.
This was separate. Yeah, that was great. I forgot about that. And
that's when he gave Kaushiki. Yeah.
When he gave Kaushiki, I tell you, Anshala, she was a revolutionary. She acted in a revolutionary way, bringing all kinds of things in on the market. So this one was, she was sad because then Bodhishwar said, if I got the wording right, he said, or maybe you can say it.
No, I don't.
You don't remember.
No.
And he said, Anshala is sad because I always get to go with you everywhere, Baba, and she's never able to come in the field walks.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because, sisters can't come. And because that was all the system until that moment in the world, in India and everything. And then Bodhishwar said, is it not possible that sisters could come? And, Dada Ramananda and I, we were the only acharyas in the room then. We were just, and then Baba, just very easily, he just said, why not? And we got so excited with that, why not? Yeah. And then from that, and then everything kicked into place. Then the GV girls volunteers, they got active. Then we had half of the volunteers in every walk from then on were the sisters, and half were the brothers, and there was the leader and there were sisters. It was beautiful, and that became a permanent system globally. So, okay. Then next was this thing about the dance, huh? I don't remember. Can you talk?
I don't remember where it was.
Yeah.
Anshala wanted to come, and then she didn't make much kaushiki in the past now. And then at home she made kaushiki, and
this time now.
Yesterday, because she wanted to tell the story, and yesterday she got this attack here. She cannot move. X and shoes. So she decided to stay home. Anyways, we are on touch by phone, but I think Baba stopped her. I don't know why. Too much headache. There were some other incidents, but I would rather prefer to. We can talk about.
Wait! I have more to say.
No, I love my wife, but it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay. She'd be happy if you were here.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that happened was, the next thing was in Spain. And Baba was giving darshan, and it was up in this very little place that we had, and the whole darshan long. He turned to me at one point and he said, "You are my official translator." That just popped in my head because I knew some Spanish. I was so embarrassed. Anyway, during the darshan, there was some chanting of Baba Nam Kevalam. Then Baba turned to us afterward. He said, "What was that chanting during darshan?" And then Bodhishwar said, that was my wife and some other sisters. So they were chanting. Then Baba said, why are they chanting? And then he said, they're making a protest. Because brothers get PC, but sisters cannot. Then Baba became, he got angry, and then he left the room, and then just a moment later, he came back into the room, and he said, it is my instruction henceforth that all of those 5 sisters, they have no idea what personal contact is for me. Personal contact is my personal thing. They don't know what energy is involved in personal contact. Do they know that Sri Aurobindo, he only gave one personal contact in his whole life, and that one he gave standing on the balcony, the person was down below. They don't understand the energy of it. It is my personal thing. That he said first. Then he went in the room, then he came back out, then he said, I'm giving the instruction henceforth that those sisters there who were participating, all of them are henceforth permanently for the rest of their lives expelled from Ananda Marga. And any acharya, any dada or didi who will try to appeal on their behalf, that very dada or didi themselves will be expelled from the organization. So we were we couldn't say anything, and when this was, then you or someone went down and told them, do you remember?
No, I fell down before Baba, and they say.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I just remember the energy. I said, you can't do that.
He was crying. Yeah, you can't do that. Actually, while we were doing sadhana here, I was crying. It was, again, this great energy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We went back to India later.
Wait. Then what happened was, he went down, and they were waiting. What's the news? What did Baba say? Oh, you're expelled forever. Wow, they're all crying. They're all sitting on the steps. They couldn't move all the rest of that day, part of the night, they're just sitting. Yeah. Then the next day, or maybe that evening, I don't know, then Baba told, okay, they have learned their lesson, I think. Yes. Okay, the 3 of them, they can come back into Ananda Marga. We welcome them back. But Anchala and one other sister, I don't remember the name, they have to be out still forever. Wow. So again, Anchala was crying so much, And then finally, after some more hours or a day or something, then Baba asked, if they learn like that, okay, they can come back in, but they must be very careful, And then when they came back in, whoa, I never saw Anchala. She was so, so quiet and sweet. And then, the best of all was in Rotterdam. You remember what happened there?
Give me the hint, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm on guard duty, guarding Baba's door while he's doing PC. You remember now? And then I gave the guard duty to take over Japasiddhananda. He had the job. I said, I have to go to the bathroom. He was watching the door. And I went up and I used the bathroom, and I'm coming back down the hall, upstairs, coming down the hall, and I hear this huge like coming, like anything, and the noise is coming toward me, and I'm walking, and then I see Anchala, she's coming running, and she's screaming. I didn't know. Then I went downstairs, and everybody jumped on me. They said, you stupid, how could you do that? Well, I don't know what happened. Yeah. And then I turned to Japasiddhananda, and I said, what happened, Then he told me, he said, he was really embarrassed. And he said, I wasn't looking, and somebody came out who had PC, and I guess Anchala saw her chance, and she jumped in the room, and she did full prostration, Shtang Pranam, under Baba's bed, and then Baba was shouting, extreme loud, Baba was shouting, get out of here! And she just jumped up and ran out, like a rabbit or something. And that was, then I saw her screaming, running toward me. So then I remembered this just now, because after they were expelled and brought back in and so on, then when we were in Lyon in France, which was our last place, then during the discourse, then Baba said, and if ever Parma Purusha should say to you, get out of here, you can just turn to Parma Purusha and say, I would be happy to get out of here, but there's nowhere that you are not. There's nowhere that you are not. Yeah. Okay, now you talk about the Alps.
Yeah, we have to go back. Yeah? Thank you very much, sir. We have a little bit. I make just a short. I was wondering why we are sitting up here, because the Matterhorn you can see from there at the biggest Alps, but we see this valley. We have been there yesterday. Behind the hill, huh? That is Bintal. And Baba went there 2 or 3 times. The one behind, you know. So yesterday we were there with the daughters from India, and that where Baba, we were sitting on the ground, and Baba told to the people, we will show the photo tonight. I have a photo. Okay. You were in back of Baba. I was sitting on the ground and thinking, why are we here? And then he said, we have been together in those holy days. Shiva came here on the back of a yak, and he was telling it there. Somebody wrote in the book up there, but I didn't hear that. Baba went with
not my book.
Yeah, Baba in Fiesch.
Yeah.
Baba went up there to that point, and from that point you see the biggest glacier of Europe, Alex Glacier, from on the other side. Huh? Yeah, this one. Good.
24 kilometers long and
Yeah.
1,000 meters thick. It's the longest of the Alps.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. He was sitting there and reciting Rabindranath Tagore's poem in Bengali and then translated to English about the beauty of the nature scenery. It may be written down somewhere, I don't know. So many more things. And I just remember in the cabin going up there, the topic, you may have heard it exactly, but the topic was that humanity has to stop war. He watched down beside me and then he said, finish with war. War is, I don't remember the words.
The blackest spot on the human... War is the blackest spot on the human... I don't remember the word that follows.
Yeah, the words I don't remember. I remember the topic, and that it has to stop. So we all agree. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we should go back, but I wanted to say he was up there. He was up there.
Excuse me, can we verify this? Because you wrote in your book that the first human came here to Alps.
Wait. Let me I want to quickly say, not first, whatever. I'll come to that maybe later. But now I just wanted to quickly say one thing that came to me during sadhana. And that was, why in the world would Baba give DMC in Iceland when there were very few Margis there, and the devotion was very small, and when he gave the mudra it was just real fast, because it would have blown their minds and everything. And the answer obviously is that Iceland is an extraordinarily important place for the cosmic mind on this planet. And so Baba took, it costs huge money to go there, but he wanted to give the DMC there. Baba didn't think about, we need thousands of people and all this kind of thing. And similarly, I never thought of this till today. I think the real reason that he gave the DMC here is not because this was a central place for Margis to come from all over Berlin sector, Europe, but because this is the place where Shiva was. And so when he pointed at the mountain and said it's at that spot where the first life was born at 0 degrees centigrade. That was the temperature which was needed for it to be done. I sort of question, what a coincidence we happen to be in the place where the first light. But it was not a coincidence at all. It means Baba planned this thing very carefully. The DMC would happen here, and he guided Bodhishwar and whomever else to find this very Fiesch place for it to take place. So this is really a very, very holy place.
Baba said that first life came from planet Mars.
That was Abhidavananda was there. He said, Baba, is there any possibility that life came from other solar systems or whatever? And then Baba said, it is my opinion, which means that it's not his opinion. It is my opinion.
According to my opinion.
According to my opinion, life
came from planet Mars.
Life came from planet Mars, which you reminded today. You said
which is a dying planet now.
Which now is a dying planet. So yeah.
So
let's
leave.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Parampita Baba ki Parampita Baba ki Shri Anand Murti ji ki Jagat Guru Baba ki Oh, one car is gone. You see, that's Dada's already gone.